Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday evening. My name is Ashley Weeds. I'm joined by my friend Neil, and we're going to be talking about something phenomenal that Neil told me. So hang on to your seats here. And tonight is something that I think for those of you that are struggling in the energy department, struggling in general, struggling maybe with weight in many different areas of your life where majority of the people by this point have stopped their New Year's resolutions, right? And so, in a time where, more than ever, people, I think, need to, focus on their health. We've got Neil over here with this amazing story. So Neil started a nutrient dense line that I am super passionate about. I cannot shut up about the past year and a half. But Neil had a very unicorn experience. So before we go through that and what that really means, and we'll go through the nutrient dense system later. So Neil, take us back, before you started doing this, and tell us a little bit about what your struggles were and what you were really trying to address.
My biggest struggle was energy levels. I work a crazy swing shift of working both nights and day within the same week, sometimes within less than a 36-hour changeover. So I would really struggle with sleep and getting enough energy. I have two kids that are one is nearly 13 and my other will be 10 in August. And I did the majority of my parenting from the couch because on my days off, I was just too tired and I had no energy. And I would legitimately spend the entire day on the couch watching TV. And that would be pretty much it.
And I know that there's a feeling there where you're frustrated and you want to do more, but your body just, you can't make it do things that it doesn't want to do. And so there's, a vicious cycle that happens there. And that's frustrating. And if any of you are in the audience and you can relate to that, drop down a comment and say, me too, I feel that, right? But so you had a friend, a schoolmate named by the name of Tian that you had watched for a little while, and she was touting this nutrient dense line, 3 steps. I've got really good clean energy. But you sat back and you watched for two to 3 weeks, and
Right.
and you didn't know what this was, very skeptical. So then you decided to make a move. So tell us a little bit about, you reached out to Tian, you're like, what is this? So tell us a little bit about what that process was like and what your thoughts were.
Well, I had been watching her storyline and she was telling me about energy level or telling all of us about energy levels. And um, I that was something that I really struggled with, and with my drives home, especially when I was working night shift, I would be falling asleep at the wheel. And I am a single father, so I have a family that I want to spend a lot more time with than what I've got so far. So I was like, I have nothing to lose, and I asked her about it, and she's like, "Hey, just let me send you over a 3-day sample, and then we can go from there." And her daughter brought over the samples and I started it. And fortunately enough for me, it was on my night shift hours. So I'm like, this is really where it's going to get put to the test. And I was lucky enough to be the unicorn, as you say. And I was a hour one, day one thriver. I knew right away something was different and the energy level was there right away for me.
Nice. And and I think that's amazing that within the first hour of starting this nutrient dense line, you felt that difference. Now, you're a single dad, you're a shift worker, you're a very, very busy man, and your schedules are, is all over the place. So to have energy and feel that energy after struggle for so long, um, it's this good feeling like inside of you that's so hard to explain, right?
It's very hard to explain. And my biggest thing is my kids, when they go back to my ex-wife's house, are making comments of, you know we're going to be doing a lot more. Dad has energy. He's just not laying on the couch all day long anymore because he's tired. And, they kind of got it and was used to it. I mean, it's hard to expect 13 and 10-year-olds to quote unquote get it, but they did and they understood. And, there was times, during the summer, I'm an avid swimmer. My first job was a lifeguard. So I've always loved swimming, and we would go to the pools and stuff, but it was just those few and far between days. And then they'd be like, okay, we just went swimming all day. Now you want to go on a bike ride yet tonight? And I'm like, nah, Dad's tired. Dad's on the couch for the rest of the day, probably. And when this summer rolls around, I don't think that'll be an issue. I've already been out energizing my children. Like I said, I am 44 and my kids are 13, nearly 13 and nearly 10. And I am out energizing them saying, come on, let's go outside and do stuff. I mean, I don't ever remember this type of energy level in my life, even as a kid.
Right there, that's priceless, right? To get back time with your kids, to pull them off the couch and say, hey guys, let's go jump in the water. Let's go do this stuff together. Because, these years, you're not going to get back. This time, you're not going to get back.
Nope. As many of us parents know that our children only like us for so long, and mine are getting to the point where they're probably going to hate me for 5 to 10 years, and then they will like me again after that. So I got to take full advantage of all the time where, mom and dad are still, the pinnacle of their importance level, because I know it ain't going to be much longer, and it's going to be, you guys don't know anything. And, I was on that road, and I realize now that, your parents probably did know best the entire time.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's some people in the audience that have kids that are like that today, and they're like, "Oh, I know exactly what he's talking about."
Right.
And the kids are watching you at all ages. It'll always be like this, and they're seeing your transition, and this is something that they'll remember. That dad has made a health change. He's doing his 3 steps in the morning. I know what dad was like before, and seeing dad, now that's got to be a stark difference to them. And, I applaud you for that, Neil.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Obviously I'm a man. I am a bit on the stubborn, skeptical side. So, I was really hoping for the best. I'm not going to lie. I did go into it with a fairly open mind. I wouldn't say a fully open mind, but a fairly open mind. And I was just lucky enough to be the guy that it hit day 1, hour 1. And all my skepticism went away within that first hour.
Now you actually ran out. you had your sample, yes. You ran out, and you had placed your order, and you're like stalking the mailman. So what was that like during that period?
I went within the first day of not having it. I was on my flip day. So my flip day is usually pretty messed up, where like I get off in the morning, I'll come home, I'll sleep for a few hours, and I'll get up. And so I didn't have my Thrive to take that day anyway, but I legitimately woke up, and then the rest of the day was spent on the couch. I did nothing. And then I went right back to bed, at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I was back on my first shift schedule, got up with the kids, got them ready for school. We get up at 7:15 in the morning to get ready for school. And then for the next, I think it was like four more days before I got my hands on my monthly supply. And those entire 4 days was spent on the couch just watching TV, because I legitimately had no energy at all once again. And I had sent Tyann a picture of me. I made my son take a picture of me while I'm peering out the window saying, where's this UPS guy? We're only like 30 minutes away from the UPS delivery site. Yeah, it's exactly what I was doing. Peering out the window like, this guy got my stuff at 8:30. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. Where the heck's he at? Like my delivery wasn't the most important delivery on his whole route or something. But I got it later that day, and the very next morning I was starting it and following the fact that it's 3 very easy steps that invade your life. Not at all. I mean, there's nothing that you lose out of your day by doing these 3 steps, and the ease of that is what really sold me.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And if you guys in the audience know a skeptic, drop that down below. Give a high five. I know so many skeptics in my life. I'm a reformed skeptic. 2.5 years, Neil. So 2-3 weeks. Come on, my friend.
Right.
But men are skeptic, and I got it from my husband too. It took him a few months to believe it and see the change in me consistently, and now he'll never stop. We actually talk about it every now and then. So that's okay. Skeptics, at some point are going to be open to it, and something that Tan posted spoke to you, and you made a change. Right. So Neil, 3 steps. I'm glad that you brought that up. So it is super simple. I like how you said it invades your life. None, because I'm telling you guys, most people's Starbucks order, Dunkin' Donuts order takes more time to order than it does to do this.
Longer, 20 to 30 minute wait in between, it seems like sometimes.
Yeah, but you go do your morning routine,
Right. No, I just mean you could be in line at Starbucks for 20 to 30 minutes before you get your stuff, depending on the day.
Guilty. Absolutely guilty. And I spent more at Starbucks per day than I did this. It's nuts. So super simple routine. I'll go through this real quick, guys. But all you do is you take 1 to 2 capsules when you first get up, men's and women. So you have choices. 20, 30 minutes later, you drink a really delicious, super fine gut health shake. Apple pie is my go-to. I know Neil loves the strawberry, but there's vanilla, chocolate, cinnamon, pumpkin, candy cane. So lots of options. Mix with water in a shaker cup. Done. Or just stir it up. And then after that, you just put on this little guy, this little sticker, foam patch, and this delivers the rest of the nutrients and antioxidants and such to your body. So that gives you the all-day rounded energy, the mental clarity and focus. It also helps with your weight, your appetite, craving management. It helps you sleep better. So a lot of people just say that they feel less achy. They just feel better and they feel healthier. It is something that's so insanely hard to describe. We all try our best. And, my experience is going to be different than Neil's experience because we have different bodies and different needs and different nutritional gaps that we need to fill. Everybody does, right? And that's where premium supplementation makes that difference, guys. So if you have questions, comment down below. And if you want to reach out to one of us, private message, how can I get my hands on this? How can I do a few days, or how can I try this out for a month? Don't be shy, guys. Don't be like me, 2.5 years watching Neil, 2 to 3 weeks watching, right? Ask the questions now, because I'm telling you guys, you are worth it.
The sooner it's in your hands, the better you will be. There's no doubt about that.
Could not give you better advice, Neil. That's absolutely perfect. So thank you, Neil, so much for spending time with me and sharing this with everyone. And I will talk to all of you guys later. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.